Preston from Breakout Capital Ventures, back again with part 2 of the weekend podcast. I'm going to start with a COR, and this one here, it's a tiny market cap. It's £500,000 in value. It's got not a lot going on as such. It's hopefully an RTO. Where do I think that's going to go? Well, obviously I don't have a blue box entry, but what I do have here, I've got a target here of 0.0416 up to 0.049. That would be sort of where it could go, especially if they, announce a good RTO. But, the chart's really interesting in the fact that there's an absolutely enormous gap. And that sort of starts at 0.069. So, we've probably got like 1 or 2 bags into that red box. But, if it goes up to start filling that gap, I mean, there's 3-4 bags in that. And then it goes, it goes crazy. So, it's a bit of a punt, so it's worth doing some research. There's a big shareholder in it, and a significant one, in my opinion. They've not parted with money because, it's a gamble, I wouldn't have thought, but it is a gamble. It's £500,000 market cap, but it's worth doing some research and having a look, see what's going on there. So that's COR. The next one I'm going to do is ATM, because I haven't covered this one off for a little while. This one here, we had that blue box reversal zone from ages ago, which is correct call. And again, I've got another blue box here at 3.1 down to 2.9. It sort of tagged the bottom of that box during the week's trading. But, I think we're going to see some upside in this one. The MACD sort of coming to cool it down a bit, probably see a bit more sideways action before hopefully we can go to attack and break this 4 pence level. And I think if we break that 4 pence level, I think we're going to go break this prior higher at 4.22. And that's going to bring us up to 4.99 up to 5.72. But if they can get the right wind behind it, I've got a much bigger target up here at 10.95 up to 13.2. So, and if we have a look at the tin price, if I just get that up, flip to the weekly. For me, tin's, it's had a really good run, but I think we're going to be heading, tin price. I've been saying it all year. Like slowly getting there. You're at 34,400. I think we're going to be seeing tin prices up to this blue box here at 45.8 up to 50,864. If we can head towards the sort of middle or top of that box, we're going to bring us up to 56,000 up to 66,700. Potentially tin price. I'm still expecting that to break out. I've changed my mind on that, and I think that'll be significant for ATM. So hopefully, if that does break out, I think we're going to see that top red box there come into place. That's 2.5 bags, whatever it is. 3.5 bags, isn't it? So ATM, worth popping on. Watch this, see what's going on there. INSG is my next one. I think I covered this off last weekend, and it had a bit of the trading statement wasn't well received on the trading day, but after that it was well received by the market, and we're back into this blue box here. We can't quite hold above that, but I think that I think it's going to sort of break out, and I think we're going to see it trading above then. And if it can sustain its rise, the bulls can take back control, break and hold above sort of 40 pence level. I think we see trading up to 47.6 up to 56 pence. That's a potential bagger and a bit more in INSG. Worth again do some research, finding out what that all is all about. WSBN is my next one, and a very, very popular share. This is one where we gave it was a red box zone, but we thought in the last one that we see trading up to 2.18 up to 2.52. I think that we might see a bit of sideways action here, but if we can see a bit of sideways action, like this, that'd be great. It would be great technically, and then smash this prior high. We could see us trading up into this red box zone up here at 3.12 up to 3.66 pence. So that's a potential bagger again, isn't it, in WSBN? But as I say, I think we're going to see a bit of turbulence here, and as long as we can stay above 1.15, I think that the next push higher will be into that red box zone there. So that's WSBN. Worth do some research. TRP is my next one, and Tower Resources. Now, where do I see this one going? Well, yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one for me. I've got a red box zone down here at 0.0272 down to 0.0228. It might go there. I'm not saying it will. But it might go there. But then I've also got, and I've graded the box out, but it's 0.052 up to 0.0582. That is where I'm really expecting it to go. But, it's sort of had a bit of a pullback. And if it can hit sort of break above there and into that grey box there, which should be a red box or blue box really, but then we would see trading up to 0.0684 to 0.0816. So a bit of a tricky one to call. It could go in either direction. It looks like it's had a bit of a fake out, but hopefully it's not a fake out, and we hopefully do get the bulls to step in. But it's a tricky one to call from my perspective. But fingers crossed. EME is my next one. This one here, we gave this I think last week or the week before in that blue box reversal zone, which appears so far to be the correct call. For me, I think we're going to see another leg up. I think we're breaking a hold above 0.132 level is going to bring us into this red box here at 0.186. Now, that's sort of the minimum where I would expect that to go. But, based on my sort of technical charting, the way I do it, I think we could see trading. This is going to be crazy. So, take the 0.186 up to 0.224 as where if we break that prior high, that's where we get headed. But it's possible we could see 0.273, even 0.413 level, which is an awful lot of return from where it is at the moment. It's one to pop on your watch list and do some research, but it's a possibility that's where it's going to head. So it'll be interesting from my perspective to see whether see what happens from there. That's EME. Next one we're going to do is OMI, and this one here we covered it again last week. It's had a pretty reasonable week's traded. That blue box was so far correct. Well, it is correct, isn't it? We've had a bounce to the upside. I'd like to see a break and a hold above sort of 27 pence level. I think if we break and hold above that, I think it's going to bring us up to this red box zone here at 39.2 to 44.9. And flip to the weekly to show the other options. I think that, longer term, we're going to see this 46.4 to 58.4 come into play on that one. So that's OMI. I think that, there's plenty more upside on that. I think that the company said during the week that there's a couple of weeks of radio silence. Seems to have upset a few people, but it's 2 weeks. It is nothing, is it? So, hopefully, once that 2 weeks is up, they can start releasing whatever news it is, and we can see that one fly. Let's wait and see what happens. SWC is my next one, and this is like the godfather of the Treasury plays. And we gave. I'm so great with that call. That was about 244. I said it was going down to this blue box here at 121.68 down to 79.65, which was so far correct, and it's sort of sitting at 96p. I'd like to see that. Have a bit of a rise up to the upside. And, I think that it's possible that is going to go to the upside from where it is at the moment. And if that is the case, that's going to be great for the rest of the Treasury plays. So, I think, if this one moves, the rest of them are going to move with it. So that's going to put sentiment back in the sector. Overall, from my perspective, I've got a crazy target here, which I'm not going to go into today. We've got this target here. So we've had wave 1, this is wave 2, and I would expect still a wave 3, that to 753 up to 964. I do have a really stupid target, which is many times that, but we won't go into that one. SWC, it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. As I say, if that one can go, then the rest of the Treasury plays will be, in play, and that's going to be very interesting for the sector. There we go. Third is my next one, and I didn't think I was going to cover this one off today, but obviously I am. Right, I've got a blue box reversal zone down here at 0.822 down to 0.452, where we should expect a bounce to the upside, but overall, I mean, the chart isn't great. It's been an awful decline for such a long time that it needs some good news, doesn't it? It was traded at 45p and above that at one stage. So I don't know anything about Tern. I know it was very popular probably like a decade ago or whatever, but for me, although I've got a blue box entry, it's not the best of setup. So that's all I'm going to say. LND is my next one, and there we go. And I had this one way back here at 2.66 down to 2.14. In fact, we called it before that. Pretty good. But if it could break and hold above sort of 5.25 pence, should bring us up to 6.4 to 7.55. So that is LND. EOG is my next one. And there we go. Where do I think that one's headed? Well, I think that's a bit of a break. We should see it trading up to 1.19 up to 1.34. However, this move back from sort of August 25 sort of give me a bit of cold feet that we could well be at the top there. So it's a bit of a risky one from my perspective. We really want to be down here, but for me, I'll technically speaking, I want to see it trading into that blue box there at 1.2 up to 1.34, and then we sort of reassess the situation from there. So that's EOG. AI is my next one and my last one for today. Just going to go through there. Yeah, just check that. We covered the sign off before. We had that blue box reversal zone down here at 0.25 down to 0.0345. And we said that we got these sort of resistance levels here because it's a bit of a hard one to call. So we've gone sort of traditional charting to 0.362, which is struggling to break. But if you're breaking a hold above that, it's going to bring it up to 0.466, and then obviously breaking a hold above that, it's going to bring you 0.55, etc., etc. And overall, sort of the longer term target would be 1p up to 1.22. Not saying it's going to get there, so I think it's a treasury play or something like that. But as I say, SWC is really the one to follow to see where sentiment's heading with that sector. There you go. That's me for this weekend. Back again soon.